Today we're going to be working on Leetcode question number 200, number of islands. Given an m cross n 2D array, 2D binary grid, which represents a map of ones, which are land, which basically is land, and zeros. We're going to represent water with zeros. Return the number of islands. An island is surrounded by water and is formed by connecting adjacent islands horizontally or vertically. So we are looking for the elements. If there is a one which is an island, we're going to be looking on the top, on the left, and on the right, and at the bottom. No diagonal elements. Okay, and you may assume that all four edges of the grid are all surrounded by water. So if we have one element over here, uh, we are sure that there is going to be at least like if we have even one like a single one inside the grid, we are sure that there's gonna be an island, because we're gonna assume that the grid is represented is surrounded by water. So yeah, so the way we're gonna be doing it is basically our base condition is gonna be like if there is no grid, right? If the elements are zero, or there is no element. If not grid, we're gonna return 0. Then we're gonna initialize our count to 0, and then we're gonna go through the whole element, traverse through every single element of the array for I in range of the length of the grid, then for j in the range of the length of the grid first row, like basically meaning the I is gonna go through all the rows, j is gonna go through all the columns. So we are traversing through the whole grid. Now if grid I and j is equal to 1, in that case we're gonna use our helper function, and we're gonna send this I and then j. So we're sending the location of that one which we just saw, and that's gonna basically, and after that, once we come out of this, we're gonna increment the counter. What this grid is gonna do, is basically gonna make that island sink. What that means is like it's gonna make them we're gonna convert all that particular element and all the surrounding ones. We're gonna convert it to a different character so that we don't process it again. So TFS is gonna be getting the grid I and then j. Okay, so the base condition in this one is gonna be that if the I is less than 0, or the j is less than 0, or the I is greater than equal to the length of the grid, or the I is greater than equal to the length of the grid 0, or the grid itself I and then j is not equal to 1. In any of these cases we're gonna return. Otherwise we're gonna change that particular element ij to a different character, and then we're gonna recursively call this function self, like with changing the indices. Self.dfs grid I plus 1j, so we're going to the right, grid I minus 1 to the j going to the left, self dfs grid I is going to stay the same. This time we are going to the next column, next row, meaning going down, and then grid I and j minus 1, a row above that, meaning going at on using the element one above the I and the jth element. Looking good so far. Yep, and it works.